sounded good there, 791 and 010, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you got to love propagations like that for sure. 2 Delta Alpha 010 Michigan. Yeah, it sounds like you're sitting on our island next to me. Or I'm sorry for blasting you out of your chair. I didn't mean to. I'm probably pointed right at you then. I was actually talking to Brazil, South America there. So the beam is kind of pointed southeast, and you would be southeast to me, that's for sure. So I am on the flat side right now. Are you on the flat side?
Yeah, last winter I had my beam only 8 feet off the ground. I know we've spoken before. And I did hear you talking to Luis 101 down there in Brazil. I was actually pointing to Brazil and I could hear you talking to him. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, I got the beam now is at 30 feet. I got it up on the tower out in the middle of my yard, away from my house, and finally got it off the ground. It's a 4-element homemade Yagi at 30 feet, Roger.
Oh, man, it works really good, man. Give yourself a pat on the back. 20 over. I'm shooting a video guy right now. I'll put this on my YouTube channel a little bit later when I get into the house from my Radio Shack here. My Radio Shack's about 40 feet from the house, so wife doesn't like me talking in the house. I make too much noise, so she kicked me out to this Radio Shack over a year ago, so I'm kind of liking it. But yeah, we'll put this video gate on for you. You can see how good you're coming in here. That beam is working awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. You know, I built it, actually I originally built it around the last cycle, and had it up at 30 feet on a different house down when I lived in southeastern Michigan. I used to live like 20 miles north of Detroit City, and now we're up here in the north, up in the middle of the woods. Yeah, so back downstate, it was just too big to put anywhere in the subdivision. I had a little 2-element homebrew Yagi that worked really well. So when I moved up here, I said, I'm going to put that 4 back together, and we got her all tuned up. And like I said, I worked it for not quite a year at 8 feet, and I couldn't believe how well it worked that low to the ground. So, yeah, I was happy to finally get my tower up, finally get the cement in the ground. I had to build the legs for it, because the bottom section of the tower got, the guy that had it before me kind of just cut the bolts and let it fall to the ground, so it bent the bottom leg. And I couldn't get it fully straight, so I figured, you know what, I'll just use 2 sections. Put some masking up and put the rotor on that, and then put some more masking. So I got it exactly, I think it's like 31 feet, nothing more than that. And it worked all summer on the tower, and I'm glad I was finally able to get it up before the bad weather set in, because it was quite the job anyways. But yeah, we're happy with it. It's working well, so can't complain, Roger.
No, it's working really well, man. Like I say, you're way into the red. I just turned off my power, so I'm running just stock power out of this RCI 2980 WX right now, 50 watts. It's it's peaked up to about 50 watts here, so hopefully you can still hear me. I remember putting up a tower, my first tower I put up, and I've run a lot of antennas. My first beam I had up was a V-Quad flat side back in the 1970s. Not very high off the ground, but it worked pretty good for the DX. And then around 1980, late 1980s, I bought a 2-element Eliminator 2, full quad, high gain quad beam. Put that up 30 foot on a tower with 6 feet of mast. It was up a wavelength, but we hoisted that tower up by hand. My dad and 2 of my big friends. And I remember that, man. That was a big job. That was in early January 1981. Had that thing up for years, and man, that was a bitch to get up there. Just lifting it up by hand. I know a lot of people use a winch or they use a Jeep or a truck to pull it up, but we pulled that sucker up by hand, QSL.
Yeah, that's the fun way to do it. It's hard work, man. You're peaking 7 by 9 plus 5 dB. I moved the antenna just a little bit and it brought your signal up a little more, but you're peaking 5 plus 5 dB over 9, so it's blasting in even with the wattage you're doing. Yeah, that's what me and my son did. Because when I first put the tower in the cement, I put this first section in, and pushed to 20 feet up myself, but then I started adding the masting and the big old rotor and the next section of masting and then the antenna. And like, I can't do this myself. Me and my son ended up pushing it up by hand. He did most of the work, but I was there right underneath him, and we pushed it up slowly but surely, and it fell right into place perfectly, and I was happy with that. But I would want to lower it by hand. I think eventually I'm going to get a winch system hooked up so I can lower it without breaking it back. So we did the same thing. We pushed it up by hand, Roger.
Unreal, man. So you did the grunt work too, man. Yeah. Not easy on the back either, I tell you. I just remember my dad really hurting his back doing that. That was a long time ago, but it worked really well. It was both polarities, that quad beam, and I had that thing up there for years, but I really like the flat side Yagi beams there. I've always wanted a flat side Yagi. I put this one up over a year ago. This is the Serio 3-element flat side, and I've had some pretty good results. Not quite as high as yours. It's around, I think, 26 feet to the bottom of this one, right to the bottom of the antenna, so not too bad, and seems to work okay for the long distance skip, that's for sure. And yours is definitely working good. You're pushing a steady signal up into the red here, 20 over.
That's crazy. Yeah, the radio's a Yaesu Fox Tango 1000 MP Mark 5 field. So just the power from the radio and a handheld stock microphone there, Roger.
Yeah, good audio, man. I like that. You know, when this was in the shop, I just got this radio back maybe a couple of weeks ago. RCI 2980WX. I had to send it down to Southern California to Chris there down at Superior's CB Inc. And he fixed it up for me and tuned it up. But I was running my little unit in Bearcat 980 off the stock microphone, and people were complimenting the audio. I says, man, they said your audio is real good. I said, it's just a stock microphone.
Yeah, sometimes, stock microphones where it's at, they can put power mics on it, but you end up having to turn it way down anyways because it overkills the audio. So yeah, after I got the internals set up with this one, I tried like 3 or 4 different microphones on this. Even the mic that it came with, I couldn't get it to sound that good. It was it was either too bassy or one of them was too tinny. So I said, well, this microphone's actually from Heathkit. It's a Heathkit microphone. Pretty identical to one of the older Yaesu hand mics, but this one is the one I got to sound the best with my EQ settings in the radio. So I just left it alone because everybody was saying how good it sounded and couldn't believe it was a stock microphone. And I said, yeah, it's a stock microphone from Heathkit, but I was able to just plug it right in. I didn't even have to rewire it. Just plugged right in and worked. I was like amazed. I was like, oh, that's cool, because I hate wiring up microphones. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, I was happy it plugged right in and worked. And it's from an old Heathkit SB 1400. Let me see, SB or something. SBA 1400A. And it came off of an old Heathkit radio that I had way back in the day.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I'm the same way. I don't like wiring up microphones, although I've wired up a lot of them. I wired up this one, about 10, 11 years ago. This is a D104 Lollipop, and I got it turned way down. So I had to wire this in, had to wire a plug on so it fit into this RCI. Then my 878D Static, I had to wire that, and that was a pain in the ass. I had to screw around with it, get the schematics off the internet. And the first microphone I ever wired was probably around 1980, 81, and I'm still using that microphone. I bought it in 77, and I had to wire it into my, so it fit into another radio here. And for God's sake, it still works. What I did, I took the old original cord off. Actually, it might have even been before that. It could have been in the 70s, late 70s. And I took a microphone cord off a stock realistic microphone because I wanted this to work on my TRC 458. And it's still hooked up to the TRC 458. And knock on wood, it still works.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, keep them going, man. Yeah, I got rid of all my D104s. I did a trade actually with a friend down in Tennessee back when I lived downstate, and I traded him a bunch of microphones. I think I had I had a D104 EG8 stand, and I had a Silver Eagle. I think I gave him a 10D8 head flight, and I gave him my own Turner super side pick. I kicked myself for that, but and I had a +2, I think, a Turner +2. I traded a bunch of microphones for a Texas Star 400 there, Roger.
Hey, gotta like the Texas Star 400. Well, the microphone that I wired up 45 years ago or so is a Tug 8 Lollipop. And yeah, I have a Texas Star 500 sitting beside me here, and over here I got a Texas Star 350. When I was talking to you right at first, I was running my KL203P M from Italy. They're just a little one, but I ended up turning it off. I figured I don't need it. I'm just running, like I say, this radio is about 50 watts out of the radio, and I actually even have that turned down a little bit.
Yeah, I could tell when you first came in, you were blasting. Yeah, it's nice because when I had the antenna low, I tended to have to use the amplifier more often. Now I can just utilize the radio and only use the amp when I need to get to pile-ups or far-off countries that I don't normally hear. Like the other day, I got into Qatar, 115 division. Yeah, it was yesterday morning, I think, And, yeah, some of them far-off countries you don't normally hear. It's nice to have a little extra on the side when you need it, for sure. But, no, your stuff is working great, and being at 26 or whatever feet it's at seems to be doing a great job. So, I hear you out there every so often, even when I'm not beaming your way. I hear the guys calling for you. But anyways, all right, Joe, I'll say 7-3s for now, man. You're still coming in. There was a little QSB on the signal, but it's getting later over here, 8:17. And I let it roll. I let it rest yesterday for a while, and then after 9 o'clock I came up here and was able to work Trevor down in the 4-3 division, but that's about it. Didn't hear much after that. But yeah, conditions could be fading off. Who knows? They're shifting around. But anyways, have a good one. I'm sure we'll cross antennas again. Have fun out there, and have a good evening. Enjoy the DX there, Roger.
You betcha, brother. Always a pleasure to hear you out there, and I'm glad we could have a good QSO here with nobody bothering us. Nice and quiet up here. I do prefer these ones. You get down under those lower ones below 405 and 38 is a complete train wreck full of complete idiots. So anyway, man, hey, have a good one. That beam is working amazing. Like I say, 20 over. You're way into the red, way into the strawberry patch. You can check out the video gate. I'll upload it for you after on the Jungle Joe C video gates, my video gate channel. So, and like I say, yeah, running the power is good for the long distance stuff. I try to run as barefoot as much as I can out of this thing. But when I'm talking to Europe, yeah, put a little fire in the wire once in a while. Anyway, buddy, cheers to you. Have a good evening, and we'll talk soon. 2 Delta Alpha 010 Michigan, 9 UDX 791, way out here on the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. Cheers, buddy.
Okay, Joe. Hey, listen up tomorrow. And well, it was probably 6, 7 o'clock. I don't know what time it was, but a 205 division has been coming in. I talked to him 3 days in a row, and he did work a few guys up on the West Coast after he talked to me. He's over in Cape Verde Island. It's just west of Senegal in Western Africa. It's a small chain of islands, and he's been active. The last 3 days. I talked to him three nights in a row, and early evening, I think 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. And I might want to give a listen tomorrow. He's been active pretty often the last few days, so he's been coming in great. So I know he works with you guys on the West Coast. You might want to check it out tomorrow. Swing that thing out to the east or towards Africa, and give a
All right, buddy. I'll be listening for Africa. Cheers and beers, bud. Have a good one. We'll talk soon. 9UDX 791 on the site.